Welcome back, friends. We have learned till integrated and independent judiciary. Let us move ahead. Next important feature is fundamental duties. Fundamental duties of the citizens were added to our constitution by 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 on the recommendation of Swaran Singh Committee. Right? In the original recommendation, there were about 10 fundamental duties, but later through this 86th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2002, there was one more fundamental duty added. While the rights, which are given as guarantees, duties are obligations that every citizen is expected to perform. You have to keep this in mind that fundamental duties are non-justiciable in nature. So I'll discuss later why fundamental duties and directive principles of state policy are non-justiciable in nature. And there are total 11 fundamental duties altogether. So that one by one, I'm going to discuss in another video. So please make sure that you subscribe the channel and so that you don't miss on rest of the material. So next important feature is directive principles of state policy. According to Dr. Ambedkar, the directive principles of state policy is a novel feature of the Indian Constitution. Right? Part 4 of the Indian Constitution talks about DPSP. In order to provide social and economic justice to us, people of this country. And directive principles aim at establishing a welfare state in India, where there will be no concentration of wealth. So DPSP are again non-justiciable in nature. And in the Minerva Mills case, which is one of the important landmark cases, the Supreme Court held that the Indian Constitution is founded on the bedrock of the balance between fundamental rights and the directive principles. So this statement clearly shows the importance of fundamental rights and DPSPs, right? So next important topic or important feature is Indian secularism. The Constitution of India does not uphold any particular religion as the official religion of the of our country. The important features of our secular democracy are the state will not identify itself with or be controlled by any religion, right? While the state guarantees to everyone the right to profess or practice whatever religion one chooses to follow, which includes also the right to be an antagonist or an atheist, it will not accord preferential treatment to any of them. There should not be any discrimination by the state against any person on the basis of his religion or faith. The right of every citizen, subject to any general condition to enter any office under the state, will be equal to that of the fellow citizens. Political equality, which entitles any Indian citizen to seek the highest office under the state, is the heart and soul of secularism. And India aims to establish a secular state. This does not mean that the state is anti-religious. We just want to establish secular state in its positive concept of secularism, right? Therefore, giving equal respect to all religions or protecting all religions equally. Moreover, the Constitution of India has also abolished the old system of communal representation. However, it provides for the temporary reservation of seats for the SC, ST and all, so that they can, make sure that there's adequate representation from these communities. Apart from that, there is complete abolition of communal representation. Okay? Single citizenship is next important feature. In a federal state, usually the citizenship have double citizenship, as we can see in USA. But in India, we have only one citizen, single citizenship. It means that every Indian is a citizen of India, irrespective of the place of his, her residence or place of birth. For example, if I am from Karnataka, I will not be having Karnataka citizenship. It is, I will have. I'm an Indian, so I have only one citizenship, single citizenship. That is, I'm a citizen of India. All the citizens of India can secure employment anywhere in the country and enjoy all the rights equally in all part of India. The constitution makers, wantedly opted for single citizenship so that they can eliminate regionalism or any other disintegrating tendencies among people. Right, so single citizenship has undoubtedly forged, a sense of unity among the people of India. So when we, irrespective of the language, state we belong to, the culture we follow, that one word Indian keeps us united, right? So that is why one of the important and beautiful feature is single citizenship. Next, independent bodies. So the Indian Constitution not only provides for the legislative, executive, and judicial organs, of the government, but also establishes certain independent bodies. Right, they are envisaged by the Constitution as the defensive wall of the democratic system of government in India. So I'm going to discuss in detail later about independent bodies. So next important feature is universal right franchise. So this is Indian democracy functions on the basis of one person, one vote. So every citizen of India who's 18 years of age or above is entitled to vote in the elections, irrespective of caste, sex, race, religion, or status, culture they belong to. The Indian Constitution establishes political equality in India through the method of universal adult franchise. Then we have three-tier government. So just to make sure that you remember three-tier government, I have added here three-tier cake. And initially, Indian Constitution had dual polity provisions with regard to the organization and powers of the center and the state. But later, the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992 gave constitutional recognition to the panchayats, which you call as rural local governments, by adding a new part 9 and a new schedule 11. Okay, so similarly, 74th Amendment Act of 1992 gave constitutional recognition to the municipalities, which you call as urban local government, right, by adding new part 9A and a new schedule 12 to the constitution. Next, very important feature is emergency provisions. The constitution makers wanted to have provisions to be implemented when there is an emergency situation in the state. There are three types of emergency. Emergency caused by war, external aggression, or armed rebellion, and emergency arising out of the failure of constitutional machinery in states, financial emergency. I have explained emergency provisions in detail in my previous video. Link is in the description. Please go through. To safeguard the sovereignty, unity, integrity, and security of the country, the democratic political system, and the constitution, emergency provisions were very much needed. During the time of emergency, political system transforms from federal to unitary. Right, it will be federal during normal times, and it turns into unitary during emergency. This is a unique feature, that you can find in Indian Constitution. So next one is, and the last one, cooperative societies. The 97th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2011 gave a constitutional status and a protection of cooperative societies. In this context, it made the following, next three changes in the constitution. First one, it made the right to form cooperative societies it is a fundamental right under Article 19. The next one, it included new directive principles of state policy on the promotion of cooperative societies, Article 43B. And it added a new part, 9B, in the Constitution, which is entitled the Cooperative Societies. This new Part 9B contains various provisions to ensure that the cooperative societies in the country function in a democratic, professional, autonomous, and economically sound manner. Right? So it empowers the Parliament in respect of multi-state cooperative societies and the state legislature in respect of the other cooperative societies to make the appropriate law. Right? So these are the important features that we have been through in last two videos. And there is a lot to read on each and every feature that we have been through so far. If you are just writing an exam and if you are elaborating on each feature, whatever we discussed is so far is more than enough. But if there is a direct question on one of the features, you may have to go in detail. So I'm going to discuss all these aspects in different sessions in future. So make sure that you subscribe the channel, keep supporting. Thank you.